Okay, good evening and welcome to Cisnewa, the platform where we speak truth to power. I just had a bit of a technical glitch I've been trying to solve. I do hope that we have solved it. So we're going to test it before we go too far ahead. We're going to test it before we go too far ahead. So I'm hoping that it is going to be doing as it should do. So I hope you can hear me. Yes, I think you can. Okay, we're going to watch the replay of the broadcast. This is very important broadcast. Yoruba people, we've been tricked. We keep saying that Eshu is not Satan, and we are absolutely right to say so. And I can tell you that authoritatively, 1842 was the day when they made was the year in which they made our Eshu, the same as their devil. And they forced us to turn against our own God, to serve their own God. That is deceit. That is deceit. Any religion that is used, that is telling you to support it and using deceit to trick you, is not a religion we want to support. So I'm here to explain in detail how that came about. Please do share this broadcast. You are, of course, watching Season A, the platform where we speak to power. With that said, we're going to roll the tape. Please do share. This is really, really important, of immense importance. Please subscribe to CNY, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. We've been fooled for over 183 years. It is time we woke up. Here we go. Let's see how things progress. I welcome you all. And of course, Babalola Ogumola, welcome on board. And those of you who are on the other platforms, let me go and look at Ututuwa TV Radio. This broadcast today, for the purposes of what we're trying to do, is going to be done it will be done in English. And for the purposes of what you will understand why that is necessary and important that we do so. But I want to greet each and every one of you. Joseph Anu, good afternoon, my brother. It's great to hear from you. Bosse Adigboluja. Uh, and nice. Moktualeo, Mokinyo, Ekalembeo. I greet my brother. I greet each and every one of you. The subject tonight, please, as I do this tonight, Mokinyo, Kaleo. Taiwo Banuso. Yes, so thank you. Taiwo Banuso. Joyce Moore, thank you very much. I greet each and every one of you. The broadcast tonight, as you see, if you see the background, the clue to what will be happening on the platform when I'm coming on is to look behind me. You will see I've got the Citizen AY logo. 9 times out of 10, the discussion that we'll be having will be in English. If I have the Oduduwa TV Radio logo on the back, 9 times out of 10, the discussions we'll be having will be in Yoruba. That is what we do. So that's the clue. The clue is in the picture behind the screen. First of all, Aminu Tajudin, Mokinyo, Ogunjimi, Abiodun, I greet you all. Thank you all so much. Please do share this broadcast. And I urge you all, as you're watching, go and subscribe to Season AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power. What we aim to do on this platform is always to enlighten, to always give you knowledge, to be able to make informed decisions. I am afraid as Africans, let's see how things progress. In a jiffy, in any ojo. Look behind me. You will see I've got the Citizen AY logo. 9 times out of 10, the discussion that we'll be having will be in English. If I have the Oduduwa TV Radio logo on the back, 9 times out of 10, the discussions we'll be having will be in Yoruba. That is what we do. So that's the clue. The clue is in the picture behind the screen. First of all, Aminu Tajudin, Mokinyo, Ogunjimi, Abiodun, I greet you all. Thank you all so much. Please do share this broadcast. And I urge you all, as you're watching, go and subscribe to Season AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power. What we aim to do on this platform is always to enlighten, to always give you knowledge, to be able to make informed decisions. I am afraid as Africans, and I am not saying this in any, there is no hate or anger in what I'm saying here. As Africans, what we thought we know or knew has been fed down to us. We have not had the opportunity to be able to compare things from a very, very diverse perspective. We have been given a narrow definition of who we are and a narrow definition of the world around us. And we need to do something about that. We must. Nobody else can do this for us. Nobody else, I hasten to add, nobody else can do this for us. We must collectively begin to enlighten our own community. It starts with us. It starts with us. I have to tell you that whatever you thought you knew as an African, whatever you thought you knew as an African, in the information age, the age of enlightenment, the age of awareness that we are in right now, I want you to trust in only one thing: truth. I want you to trust in only one thing: truth. There is a saying that we say in Yoruba: Bí irọ́ bá lọ fún ogún ọdún, àbí ẹgbẹ̀rún ọdún, òótọ́ á bá ní ọjọ́ kan ṣoṣo. Yes, it may be that the lie will try and travel for thousands of miles, for thousands of years, but with one fast swoop and leap, truth will catch up with the lie in a jiffy, in a moment. I want you to hold on to that. I need you to hold on to that. Because going forward, the coming generation of Africans must have clear information from a diverse point of view. We've had one kind of information that's been spoon-fed to our society in Africa, not only in Nigeria. We've had one line, and that line has been that of those who colonized Africa. So they've clouded. We view our own history through the lens of those who colonized us. Please understand me. This, I am speaking, if you are an African and you are watching the broadcast, I'm talking to you. You view your own ancestral history through the lens of the colonizers. And that is not beneficial in the long run to the coming generation of Africans. I am speaking to Africans. Yes, sure. People in Europe and Asia, you can contribute. You can watch this broadcast. But what we need to do as Africans, far too many of us have believed lies. We've not been able to. We've been conditioned not to use our reasoning to solve our problem. We've been told to believe in one narrative about how to view our world, the narrative that was imposed on us by the colonials. Now, in the age of awareness that we are in, it is time to pull away those blinds from our eyes and use our full spectrum of reasoning and ability to achieve great things. For the world that we are looking at right now is the world that was created by African ancestors. Be in no doubt. Be in no doubt. It is not by accident that those who now claim that, who have laid claim to parts of Egypt, they till today cannot fathom how those pyramids were built. And don't forget, the pyramids are not only in Kemet. They are also in Sudan. They are in Sudan. Now, the reason why am I saying this? As Africans, it is time we begin to relook at our own history. No longer through the lens of those who colonized Africa, but through the lens of our own ancestors. Because, let us not forget, our ancestors as Africans, they run through our veins. There is a lot of hidden messages that are in our DNA right now. And that is why, when we say that there is an awakening going on, it is real. It is happening. Many Africans a reawakening, because there is a reconnection to our ancestors, into the ways of how they do things. Any talk about technology now, there is nothing new under the sun. Let me say that again. There is nothing new under the sun. We are the very definition of technology before those who have now even conceptualized that word in their language. Yes, I want you to be very, very clear about that. So, what am I saying? Now, we're going to go into one particular area at this point that I would like us to cast our mind to. Please, this broadcast is purely for educational purposes only. It is here aimed at enlightening many Africans to begin to relook and reappraise how we view ourselves in the world. You see, when you have a particular narrative that has been force-fed even before birth of many of generations of Africans, the perspective that narrative is that Africa is been a place where the rest of the world can exploit, the rest of the world can do as they please, and we've been conditioned to accept the many twists and turns of the stories that they've told to keep us in accepting what is clearly an injustice. And we need to address that collectively. It is our role. Nobody else can do this for us. As Africans, nobody else can do this for us. And I include those of us. If you think that you are in Europe and you've escaped this, or you're in America and you've escaped this, or you're in Brazil and you've escaped this, we are all impacted by this. Our daily existence is impacted by this. I don't want you to feel sorry. I need you to understand. When you understand, when you know your real history, the rest will take care of itself. When you know your real history, the rest will take care of itself. Yes, I know it may seem like I'm rambling now, but please bear with me. I'm going somewhere. Now, we're going to go into specific details. I might do about an hour on this, and please do share it. Please share this broadcast. Clifton Osa, thank you very much. Ifeanyi is a Faku, thank you. Osa Omorege, thank you very much. Ayodeji Ademola, welcome. Ayo Comfort Badiru, welcome. Precious Gift, welcome. Bemisola Fashaki Owolabi, welcome. Akim Ilumoka, welcome. Oguntade Obanle Owo Adura Mommy, welcome on board. So please, those of you watching now, please don't just keep it to yourself. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. Facebook, I am in discussions with Facebook. There are certain things that have been done to keep this platform down. But even they know, I mean, we're following their rules. We're complying with what they're saying. I don't share anybody else's video on this platform. If I do anything or talk about anything, I only share videos where I am actually, like you see me, talking about what is going on right now. Sorry about that. I think I know what's going on here. So I just realized something was amiss. So let me just quickly, okay. So with that said, sorry about that. So we welcome you all onto the broadcast, and we know the season that we are in. There is a season that many people who have practiced their own folklore, and they are believing in that. We are in that season in their territory. Of course, we celebrate that with them, no question, and rightly so. Rightly so. What we are saying, however, is that in celebrating and recognizing the folklore and the history of those who are celebrating this particular season, due to a myriad of things that came together, we must recognize our own ancestral past. We must recognize our own ancestral beliefs. The danger of what has been happening to Africa is that many people in many communities in Africa, we have been conditioned to hate the place from whence we come from. We've been conditioned to hate being black. We've been conditioned to aspire to being everything else in the world. other than black. We've been conditioned through religion, through economy, through food, through medicine, through education, through science, all of this. The thing that we as Africans must understand, there is one thing that is best explains this. In the Americas, when they took over, the colonials took over America, they said with the Indians, and this was even happening in the 1800s and 1900s in Canada. When they took over Indian land, what they said is, kill the Indian, save the man. Kill the Indian, save the man. Please, I'm not saying this to get angry. I'm not saying this to make you upset. You need to understand, many of us do not understand what was done or what is driving our emotions. I want you to know that your emotions now is controlled. If somebody, whoever controls your mind, controls your life. Whoever controls your mind, they control your life. And how do they control your mind? Your belief system. Your mind is controlled in the current world we're in via your belief system. So when a belief system is imposed on you, be it Christianity or Islam, your future is being determined by those who impose that on you. We need to understand that, and we need to begin to really break that down. I want us all to begin to look at many African great men. Yohanan, Ben Yohanan, Joseph Yohanan, Sheikh Anta Diop, Joy de Gray, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, as Africans. Every single African home must have those books in your library. Period. If you are an African, pure African mixed, you must have that book, those books. Sheikh Anta Diop, Civilization of Barbarism, Joy de Gray, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, Sheikh Anta Diop again, Myth or Reality, The African Origin of Civilization. I want you to read that. I'll see if I can show you. There is a Eke Ocha, Target Africa, Marcus Garvey. Talks about Kwame Nkrumah, the last stages of neo-colonialism. These are books that we need to understand who we are as Africans. It's all well and good to read books about My Fair Lady and everything else from the European perspective, but it is not speaking to our reality as Africans. It is not speaking to our concerns. So when you view those books, it is almost like it is taking your mind. It is already conditioning your mind. It is, getting you to think in a way that is foreign to your own body. Your mind is being separated from your body as an African. And that is detrimental. And that is why we have not been able to unite or develop as Africans on the African continent. Because there are so many other influences that is not allowing us to identify, to be comfortable in who we are, and to be able to put that forward and express that on the African continent. I know I'm talking about a lot of metaphors that people may think, what am I saying? But I'm going somewhere with this. And we need to understand that unless we fix, if we want an Africa that is going to function, it has to start in the spiritual realm. If we want an Africa that is going to function, it starts in the spiritual realm. It is not going to be something that will start in the physical form. It starts with the spiritual. Now, if you are going to deal with the spiritual, then you need to understand what it is that you are believing in. What relevance is that belief in your life? And how is that belief nurturing you and making you feel confident in who you are as an African? Is it making you feel confident to be an African, or making you thirst for what you will never be, an European? Those are questions that we must ask ourselves. Many of us, this is not about being angry. It's about processing what has happened. And for us to be able to build a better future for the coming generation, we need to do this process. It is going to be a tedious process, but we can and must do it for the coming generation. We can and must do it for the coming generation. Now, let me go and give you specifics. Let me give an example. Now, you are looking on the screen, and I'm showing you something. What is Krampus? What's Krampus? What is Krampus? Is the question that I asked, yeah? And then I went further. So please do share this broadcast. James Friday, my brother, good evening and welcome. Please do share this broadcast. What is Krampus? Many of us, if you are, one thing I would suggest to us all, if you are going to practice anything, if you're going to practice any religion, the least you can do is to know what that religion is about. If you're going to practice any religion, we can no longer take for word whatever those who imposed it upon us tell us. We must research. Even as I'm speaking to you now, don't take my word for it. I need you to do research within your communities. We must, because that is the only way we can grow collectively. Remember, the goal is to build an Africa that's going to be working for Africans, first and foremost. But we cannot build it in the physical world without first establishing it in the spiritual realm. And our mind is that spiritual realm. It's part of that spiritual realm. And we need to heal from our mind before we can fix it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop all the time. How long must they kill our prophet? How wise we stand aside and look, whoa. Some say it's just the part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. I want you help to sing. This song of freedom is all I ever have. Oh yeah, redemption song. Redemption song. One more time. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And none but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop all the time. How long must they kill our prophet? How else we stand aside and look, oh. Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. I want you help to sing. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Oh yeah, redemption song. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Oh yeah, redemption song. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. We cannot do anything if our minds is not set right. Africa will never get back to greatness. It starts with our mind. So what comes into our mind, what we allow in our minds right now, is what we must begin to watch. We need to watch and begin to guard and protect ourselves. And the unborn, because they are the ones who are going to achieve this. We are only, I want you to be very clear about this. What we are doing here is just to start the journey to African greatness. We are starting the journey back to African greatness. the people that will complete that journey, they're not going to be in this lifetime. Be very clear about that. I'm telling you, they are not going to be in this lifetime. No, not in my lifetime. They are going to come behind us. But we are laying the foundations to make sure that if they ever begin to falter, start doubting themselves, they will look at broadcasts like this and go, I am but who I am, an African. I know who I am, for it flows within my DNA. They'll reconnect. Nothing can stop them. The change that's coming for Africa to be a great continent is unstoppable. But nonetheless, the foundation must be built. I know I've talked for a bit, but let's go back to the main topic now. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to that. And please remember, it is us who has to fix this. Nobody else can fix it. I don't want nothing to do with feeling sorry for yourself. We need to take control. Look at the world around us. The world is in chaos because there's one missing jigsaw. We are not playing our role in the world. That is why the world is as it is. There's wars all over. We have an important role to play. The world is faltering. They can say there's a free world and free this, they got powers. With all those powers, how come the whole world is in chaos? Because the missing ingredient, Africa, is the center of everything, is the beginning of everything. And if that center doesn't hold, if that center does not play its part, why are we surprised with the way the world is? The world can't function because the center is not playing its role. We're not going to be asking anybody for us to play our role. Ours is to build the coming generation and to just assume their place. End of story. That's what we must do. Okay, so now, let us begin with this topic now. You can see on the screen, it says Krampus. Who is Krampus? Okay, so it is very important. Please, this is for educational purposes only. We're not here to castigate or to belittle or anything of the sort, but merely to provide us with a kind of understanding of what it is that is going on. So who is Krampus? Let me see if I can make this smaller because I want to fit those words in. Will it let me do it? Okay, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't, there's a way to do it. There's lots of ways to do this. So let's look at Krampus. So the storyline, the question remains. I'm going to just quickly go to the beginning. So now we explore who is Krampus and his many pseudonyms. Eshu, a Yoruba God, is not devil or Satan. It is important that we say that because many things has been done to make us believe in the lies. And many of us have not checked, Black man of the line, Nile, thank you very much. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Moses Olurole. Exactly. I hope I'm saying it right. So James, thank you very much for that. And those of you, everybody that's joining us, thank you. Adenike Fajobi, good evening to you all. Yes, Joseph Ben Yohanan, Black man of the night, thank you. Iyalode Iyanota. Fat Bell, I hope I'm saying it right. Thank you very much. Welcome on board. So now we know. We need to understand who is Krampus and what's the connection between Krampus and the celebration that we're having that is shortly to happen all over the Western world. That's what we need to do. We need to understand that. And we need, as Africans, we need to understand that this is a story, first and foremost. This is a story about a folklore in Europe. Just like we have our own stories in Africa. Oduduwa, Shango, that it is their story. That doesn't mean that it should be the only story that must be told, particularly on African continent. The danger of following just the story and allowing it to permeate on African continent is that we lose our own self. Remember, I said what they did to the Indians and what is being done. Kill the Indian, save the man. In Africa, it's kill the African, save the man. And we need to understand that not understanding our own history, our own story, is actually dangerous for our own existence. We will lose our culture, our language, our, all of this cultural wealth that we have. Africa is one of the most culturally wealthy continents on the entire world, but we don't know it. And I can go on in detail and explain that in depth. But let's just start with that. Now, the story, the reason why I'm talking about Krampus is we need to understand what it means. So, Krampus is a horned, listen to the words, Krampus is a horned anthropomorphic figure in the Central and East Alpine folklore of Europe. Did you hear that? It's a folklore in Europe. We need to understand that. Please, I'm just trying to explain. And again, this is for educational purposes only. Okay, so now during the advent of the season, Krampus scares children who have, let's go and look at it. This is their story, not mine. You can see it on Google. So it's not me. So let's go and look at that. I hasten to that. Again, it's for educational purposes only. Please do not, like I said, it is for educational purposes only. And we are just trying to really enlighten ourselves as Africans. So that if you are going to support something, you need to understand what it is you're supporting. The aim is not to make you turn against something, but to understand what it is that you are partaking in. So at least you are making an informed decision when you decide to proceed with that. And that's fine, because the ultimate part of thing about this is to have this free will. So you can see that's Krampus there, and with a child in the back. So you can see that's Krampus with a child in the back. Now let us see what it says here. Let's read this. We can read it together. You and I can read that together. Sorry about that. Okay, go back again. Okay, so now let me go back. Sorry, one second. I don't know what happened there. I'm just gonna get it right. I was just gonna drop that now, and it suddenly went. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna read that to you. So you've seen that picture. So it says here, I don't know what is going on. Give me a minute, please. It's just been a bit difficult, and I'm trying to fit everything in, and of course it's difficult. So you can see that it says, I'll move it forward a bit, back a bit. 1 second, please. Just give me a minute. It's taking some time, but we will get there. And I need you to understand. So you saw the picture of Krampus, the horned man. That is not the same thing as Eshu, I hasten to add. Eshu hasn't got horns. Eshu is an African god, or a deity, if you like. We need to establish that fact. It's really important not to mix the two. There was an issue where late Bishop Ajayi Crowther was told to translate the Bible, and he translated Eshu to mean devil. No, they are nothing of the same. And you will see pictures that is why that picture is very important for you to understand. Very important to understand. Okay? So let us go and read this quickly. So now, please do bear with me. So it says here, however, he has a companion known as Krampus, a demonic figure with goat horns, hooves, and long slimy tongue, who punishes bad children by beating them with a birch rod and sometimes carrying them away in a basket. Okay? Just read that. On his back, either to eat them or to take them to hell. Okay? So that's the picture. So that's the picture of Krampus. So now at Christmas, listen to the words, please. It's not me. You need to understand, you see? So it says here, Krampus is about this guy here. So it takes them to hell or to eat them. That's what it says. We will stream it again on YouTube, later on. But I need you to understand that this is the basis of what you call Father Christmas now. It is important to understand that. It's a folklore. Now, the reason as an African you need to understand that. Because why I'm talking about this is because they've somehow said that Eshu is also this man. They are not the same people at all. Different. Completely. This is a folklore in Europe. Eshu is part of Yoruba divinity, Yoruba God that we worship, that is part of our essence, is part of our Ifa divination. Two separate things. And I feel it is very important for us to explain that. So you can see now that that's what he does. The idea is for him to, he's got, long, horn and, and eating and all of that, eating kids and all that. That is the folklore. That is not indisputable. But I'm bringing it to the attention of many of us who are practicing Christianity, Christianity, and celebrating this Christmas. At least you have now the option to understand, this is it. That makes sense. And at the same time to explain, because somehow in the middle of that, they've dropped in that Eshu is Satan. No, this man. The other name for this Krampus is also Satan. That's his other name. You will see as we go along. And the other name for him, of course, is Santa. But, these are things that a lot of people will find difficult. Again, this is for educational purposes only. Please, I hasten to add, it is not about to castigate any culture against the other. It's to create a clear understanding, particularly for Africans who don't understand the foundations of what is Father Christmas and its connection to the religion, and how we have got to make sure we understand what is going on and be able to actually reconnect to who we are. Because in engaging into something that we don't understand and ignoring what is part of us, we're actually killing part of our soul. And we need to reconnect to our soul, to what our ancestors did, to be able to know, to plot a better future for the coming generation. I welcome, and indeed I urge, I insist that in Europe, this folklore is something that must be protected. They have to protect this folklore because that is what has been part of their history. Just like we must protect and ensure that Eshu is not subsumed and written out and sucked out of our own history. You see, this is Eshu. You see that issue there? It is very different. Eshu is very, very different from the man with the horn, and long term. All of that. Eshu is a man, it's in a human form. Can you see that? It's nothing to do with having long tongue. None of that. We need to understand that, and we need to separate it in our minds. What has been done is they've tried to put Eshu and that Krampus together, but they've hidden certain things and they've changed it. The look of the Krampus then and the Father Christmas, you will not connect the two, but they want you to connect Eshu with Krampus. That is the problem, and we have to separate that. That is what we're trying to really get at here, so that we understand what has been done. We need to really make sure that the coming generation, they are aware of it. That, fine, this is what they do in Europe. That is their folklore. Now, here is our folklore. When I was growing up, my grandma, may her soul rest in peace, she used to tell us so many stories about the rabbit and the hare and many, many other stories using metaphors. In the moonlight, we will sit down, me, my brother, my cousins, with grandma, we will sit at her feet and she will start talking to us in Yoruba. That's in fact one of the reasons how I'm able to speak Yoruba perfectly, was those times when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, sitting at the feet of my grandma and hearing the story of Ijapa, Ehoro, and all of this stuff. The imagination of us as kids was it ran wild. And under the African sky, I cannot tell you Those memories stayed with me till as I'm speaking right now, and I'm over 50, closing to 60. So, Grandma, may your soul rest in peace. You don't know. I cannot thank you enough for giving me this gift, because I see it as a gift to be able to connect with my ancestors through just you telling me stories about Africa. Grandma, Eshu. I get sorry, man. You know, and I am, like I said, I get emotional when I think about it. But anyway, let's I'm just by the by. So why I'm saying this is because I don't want people to think that I'm saying that we are putting one down and putting the other up. We need to differentiate different things. It's about differentiating and making sure that in the mind of the coming generation, they do not misunderstand Eshu and think it is this here. It is not. Eshu is not that. That's not Eshu at all. Eshu is a god. And let me read to you what it says in the thing here. I'll read to you what it says in the British museum, because that figure is in the British Museum. Here's what it says, not my words. It says here, carved wooden figure of Eshu, Elegba, kneeling and holding notched stock under chin, with backward curving hooked headdress. Yoruba, West Africa, 1880 to 1920. Can you see that? Now, a wooden figure in the form of Eshu, a god of the Yoruba people of Nigeria. In Yoruba tradition, Eshu is described as a figure of trickery and surprise in common with other depictions of Eshu. He is seen to be playing a flute. You see? So they said it themselves. You see? Eshu, a god. That's what they said. It's not me who said it. That is what is in the British Museum. We need to really understand that. So when they say that Eshu is trickery and everything else, you see, Eshu is very different from this here, this Krampus. And I want you to pay close attention to the words above here. It says here, Krampus, the German Christmas devil. It's not my words. Those are the words of what you saw there with the child, German Christmas devil. So in no way, shape or form does it look like this man here, which is Eshu, an African deity, an African god. We need to separate this in our minds. It's really important that we separate this in our minds. And that is what we are doing here. We are not here to put one down against the other. We are trying to say and explain that the people have got that misunderstood that because of what the Bishop Ajayi Crowther did when he was translating the Yoruba, the Bible into Yoruba, whereby he now twisted and said that Eshu that you see here is the same as this here, Krampus, Christian Christmas devil. It says so here. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that is beginning to make some kind of sense. Now, the reason why this is so important for us to understand is that as we are being told to follow Christianity, to embrace the religion of those who came and colonized us, it is important to understand something. I want to show you something, and I need you to read and understand this. Just give that there. So last year, okay, fine. Last year, 21-22, yeah, they made, how much did they make? They made 109 million. You see? March 2022. Last year, the year before, the British Museum fell from 123 million to 109 million. So, the British Museum made 109 million. I need you to understand that part of that 109 million is based on the display of this Eshu. And other African artifacts that belongs to us as Africans. They made 109 million. Remember, whilst you are busy talking about, yes, Father Christmas and this and that, they are making money on your own ancestral God and telling you that it is bad, because that is why you need to understand this. That is what they got Bishop Ajayi Crowther to do. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so let's go and look at this again. So Ajayi Crowther came up and said this word. Let me see. He said this. Oh, come on. Sorry about this. 1 second, please. Let me just, I wanted to, give me a second. I will sort this out. Give me a second. I don't know what's going on here. I didn't want that. I wanted it to do, so just do this. Go back down. I'll bring it up to you. Mission. Okay. Now, so we need to understand the Bible up until 1840. Up until 1840, the Bible was not in Yoruba language. It wasn't. Now, it was when he was enslaved, he was freed, he was made into a bishop, and then they commissioned him to translate. You see, Crowther opened a mission in Abakaliki, Ogun State, and began translating Bible into Yoruba, compiling a Yoruba dictionary. In 1843, his grammar book, which he began working on during the Niger expedition, was published. A Yoruba version of the Anglican Book of Prayer followed later. Combined the vocabulary of the Yoruba language, including a large number of local proverbs, published in 1852. Can you see? So you need to understand, when people look at the Bible and they say to you, oh, Eshu, in the mind of you listening to this, you won't know this history. You won't know that before 1857, there was no mention of Eshu being in the Bible as the devil. We need to understand all of this. And it's very, very important for us to understand and break this down. That's what we're trying to do, so that we can really empower ourselves. Please subscribe to Season AY on YouTube as you're watching. Help us grow the platform. And also, please, we welcome you to give us stars, super chats, anything you can do to help us, because there's a lot of work that we're doing. We do a lot of extensive research, as you can see, to bring that to you all. And the reason why is that we believe that in the wealth of our community is far greater than any individual wealth. And that is what we must understand. And those who are dividing us don't want us to understand that, to be able to achieve the greatness of Africa once again. That is why we're doing this. So please, go ahead, subscribe to Season AY on YouTube, hit notification button, give us a thumbs up. Help spread this message. You can see right there, up until 1857, from 1852, let's just say, right? There was no such thing as Eshu being deemed as the devil. But when he was encouraged to translate, then they put that in there. You see, 1840, in fact, yeah. So 1843, beg your pardon, 1843. You can see it on the screen there. Can you see? 1843. So Crowther began translating 1843. You see that? So now, let me see when he finally translated into Iwe Mimo. I'm trying to give that. I'll give you that finally. Yeah, here we go. In fact, 1881. So he began in 1843. Is it 43? So keep following the chronology. We need to follow the chronology of what happened here. And we have to be very careful when you talk about the Bible. Understand that it has been manipulated to get us to separate from our ancestral belief. This is the fact that you see on the screen before you. You need to understand that. And that is what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's go forward. So like I said, so he started translating. Let me just go back to the bit where he translated. I want you to really follow that. So he began translating. I think, yes, here we go. So he began translating into Yoruba 1843. Now, he now finally translated it all into Iwe Mimo in 1881. Okay, so not that one. In 1881. So in March 1881, he and his son, Danson Crowder, attended the conference and began to work on languages other than Yoruba. And then, other than Yoruba, but he continued to supervise the translation of the Yoruba Bible, Bibeli Mimo, which was completed mid 1880s. So from the 1840s to 1880s. So it took about 40 years. About 40 years to translate from English to Yoruba and to now drop that dangerous connotation that Eshu is a devil. Not so. The reason I'm doing this, we need to understand the foundation of what has been done. That's why I'm saying we can no longer take at face value whatever we are being told of who we are or the world around us. We must research it all ourselves. We must research it all by ourselves. Please share this broadcast. Give us thumbs up. Help us reach more people. I'm probably going to come back and restrain this again, but it is really important, the information herein contained. Okay, so now, I'll come and explain to you the thing there. So now you can see now, so he began to work on it and supervise the transition of Bibeli Memo into Yoruba, which was completed in the mid 1880s. So it took, before his death, so it took him 40 years, from 1841 to 1881, thereabout, to translate the whole Bible. So before 1840, there was no Eshu is devil. You can see it. I hope you can see it. Before 1840, the Eshu was never the devil. I hope you can see that now. Before 1840, Eshu was never the devil. So now let's go and look at what he wrote. Let me just write quickly. Samuel Ajayi Crowder. So let me just put it here so you understand. So that you understand. We need to put the words he said in that 40-year period to understand that prior to that, Eshu and Satan were never the same, and they can never be the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this now. So do bear with me. Very important. Please share this broadcast, and on said Eshu is the devil. Yeah. Okay. So I want to just put it because I need to place him in that particular context. Eshu is the devil. Okay. So yeah. So listen to this now. So that puts it smack bang in the middle. That puts it smack bang in the middle of that 40-year period. Can you see what I'm saying? So it says here, the first known instance of this came from Samuel Ajayi Crowder's Vocabulary of Yoruba, where his entries, Satan and devil, had Eshu in English. In 1842. So before 1840, they even went specific, 1842. We can give you a definite that before 1842, the Eshu was never the devil. Evidence before you all. Evidence before you all. I hope you are seeing that. Leave comments. Share this broadcast. It is very important. This is something that is going to the heart of who we are as Yoruba people and also as Africans. You can see the clear intent to actually twist. Leave comments, please. Let's hear from you. 1842. Before 1842, Eshu and the devil were never the same. You see that? Before 1842, Eshu and the devil were never, ever, the same. But since Ajayi Crowther, doing the vocabulary of the Yoruba, he was coaxed by those who was translating for to put in that Eshu, yeah, is Satan. You see, vocabulary of the Yoruba, where his entries for Satan and the devil had Eshu in English. So you see, subtly, they put it in there and say Satan is Eshu. Those of you in every single church, in every single mosque, making that claim, you are making a false claim. We have a documented date, 1842, under Samuel Ajayi Crowther, was when that claim about Eshu being a devil was made. It is a false claim. It remains a false claim. It is a false claim. It remains a false claim. The Bible that they said they've written 2,000 years ago, suddenly, out of nowhere, now says that our Eshu. They have no mention of Eshu anywhere. But in 1842, it now becomes the devil. You see why I keep saying we need to relearn everything we've been taught? You see why we need to relearn everything that we have been taught? Those of you watching this broadcast, take a screenshot of what you see on the screen and please share. Can I make it smaller? I want that to see. You can't see it there. Anyway, you can see it there. You can see the date. You see? Leave comments. I need you to understand what has been done. If you are a Christian and you are following Christianity, when you go to the church, they say Eshuloni Kinshe is the devil. And people will say in Yoruba, Eshuloni Kinshe. But when they are going to say it in English, they say the devil made me do it. Two different things. Eshu has nothing to do with you committing crimes. Because people will say Eshu. Oh, Eshu near, you are a devil. But in Yoruba, when you're going to say devil, people substitute a devil with Eshu. Eshu and devil are not the same. And the churches are responsible for bastardizing our African culture. The churches and the mosques. Please share this. The churches and the mosques, they are responsible for bastardizing our culture. And I'm putting it before you, those of you watching me. Please, this is not a joke. You can see it on the screen. You can do your research. This is on Wikipedia. What you're seeing on the screen is on Wikipedia. It gives you precise date. 1842. Before 1842, Eshu and devil were never the same. I'm telling you authoritatively. I am telling you this authoritatively. But yet, the pastors and the imams, they will be castigating an African deity and saying Eshu is the one carrying out crimes. And then they will say, and the people now confused. When they're committing crimes, they'll say it's Eshu. That's because they've been conditioned to not be able to separate Eshu from the devil because of the subtle discoloration, the subtle damaging of our African deity. And the same deity, I hasten to add, that they allowed to be called, to be said is devil, is what is been, they're earning 109 million, part of the 109 million for 2021, 2022, 2023, or thereabouts from. We need to understand what, that is severe damage. This is a damage to not just one or two people. We are talking over 60 million Yoruba people. We are talking 60 million Yoruba people in Yoruba land alone. And then to now talk about all over the world, 300 million practicing Yoruba people around the world, in Brazil, in Cuba. They will be believing in that lie that started off on 1842. Please share this broadcast. I'm going to rebroadcast this, and we'll probably come back and do programs on this, because this is so fundamental. This is so fundamental to our psyche. Many people will be arguing baselessly and telling you that Eshu is the devil. They don't want to hear it. They're the same. That's because you've been conditioned to psychologically accept yourself as lesser than anybody else in this entire world as an African. And we are trying to heal. The only people that can heal us is us. This is the task from one generation to the next. We need to spread the word about what has been done to us here. This is a psychological damage of untold proportions. This is a psychological damage of untold proportions. Right here, right now, on this broadcast with Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, you are hearing the facts as being told, uncovering the hidden, what was done in the dark. What must always come to light. What was done in the dark will always come to light in the most unexpected manner. Here you have before you. Don't let any pastor get away. Send them a copy of this right now. Pastor Adeboye, Oyedepo, Oyakilome, all the imams. Never again must we hear from them that Eshu is the devil. Because it was never the case until 1842, when the people who sponsored Ajayi Crowther, they sponsored him. Those who wanted to use, why are you sponsoring a man to translate your Bible to your language, to his language? To be able to take the minds of the people. All 60 million of us now, plus 300 million. This is information that you have not seen anywhere else. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. And we needed to explain this to you in English, because you need to understand what was done. You have to understand what was done. We now place the date, in fact, the year when suddenly Eshu became the devil in the eyes of those who sponsored the writings of Ajayi Crowther. I'm sorry to say it, Ajayi Crowther is nothing but a puppet of those who got him to commissioned him to write this. Do you think he wrote this of his free will? They needed to get into the hinterland, and the best way to do it was to destroy our own culture, to make us turn away from our own culture, to make us turn away from our own culture. I hope you understand what I'm saying. The best way for them to get through to us was to get one of us, Ajayi Crowther, to become a puppet that they could use to get into our psyche in our community. Because before 1842, Eshu was never the devil. I'm telling you categorically. Eshu was never ever the devil. When any church or any mosque says that Eshu is the devil, you have the power you need. I will leave it to you to decide how to deal with this. I will suggest that you challenge them, because every time they're doing that, they are psychologically disempowering not just themselves, but our entire community. Because now they have now labeled what we all practice as devil, to make sure that everybody that practices it, psychologically you will feel weak. Oh, I'm doing something that's evil. That is a crime. That is a crime against Yoruba people. That is literally a crime against Yoruba people. I don't know how you see it. Now, let me just swing straight back to this. I want you to keep in mind, At the very time that they are telling you that Satan is Eshu, so so you don't practice it. What do they do with the sculpture? What do they do with the sculpture? Let me tell you what they do with the sculpture. It is in the British museums, and it is part of the collection that is used to earn as much as 127 million, 23 million before, and then 109 million in 2020. I believe it's 2022. See that? You see that? So when you say so if what you are practicing, if they are telling you that your own culture, which is now a lie, we've now given you the lie, we've now exposed the lie. If they are telling you that your own culture is the devil, not to use it, but they take that same culture that is holy to us. Remember, they wrote the words themselves. I'm going to use their own words, not me. Let me use their own words. Let us do that. Now, they said here, so they know what they're doing. Let's go into it. It says here, carved wooden figure of Eshu, Elegba, kneeling, Elegba, I think, kneeling and holding notched stock under chin with backward curving hooked headdress. Yoruba, West Africa, 1880-1920. A wooden figure in the form of Eshu, a god of the Yoruba people. So they turned our own god to devil. They know it's a god, but they turned it into devil. But then you are now encouraged to worship the devil itself, because I'm telling you again, the root word for Krampus is the German Christmas devil. It says so. It is on the screen. People have been arguing with me. Why are we willing to fight for cultures that call themselves who they are? We should accept that's who they are, but they should not label us under that same term, because that's not who we are. That's the point I am making here. That's the point I am making. Type 1, please. Let me hear from you all. Type 1 if what I'm saying makes sense. Are you following me? Are you seeing? I'm probably going to come back and do this in Yoruba to give it proper context. But I needed to do this in English first because this has impacted all of us. Let us hear from you all. Let us hear what your thoughts are on this. Taiwo Banuso, thank you very much. So, yeah. So let us hear your thoughts on what you are seeing on the screen. Let me, please share this broadcast, because to be honest with you, what has been done here, do you know the amount of psychological damage this has amounted to? Are you aware of the psychological damage that many of us have lived through, and many have lived and died believing that Eshu is the devil? Many have lived and died believing that Eshu is the devil because of this falsehood that we've been placed before us. And yet the same people who gave us that want us to celebrate their religion, their practices, their folklore. It's their folklore. I respect that. But why destroy mine? There we have a problem. There we have a massive problem. Why destroy mine? Why? Why turn my people away from theirs? Nobody is stopping you from celebrating Krampus. Nobody. But why destroy mine? Why? Okay, right. Okay. So I state that, and I hope many of you who are watching this can really relate to how difficult and painful this realization is. I hope many of you will be able to. I'm sure you can feel. You can feel the pain of what has been done here, and I'm definitely going to come and do this in Yoruba anyway. I will have to, because I think we need to really, break this down in a very, very clear way. And again, I'm speaking to every African, and this, no doubt, It'll be interesting to see if this has been done in other parts of Africa. It'll be interesting to see. Please, let's hear your comments on what you're seeing, what you've watched. So, it's not a debate. It's not me trying to scaremonger. We are only going with the words that they have themselves termed their own deity. That's the word they've termed it. So, Christmas traditions, Krampus. It says that, it even says it. Christmas traditions, Krampus, the German Christmas devil. It says so. It says so. And you can see the devil with the child behind. You can see it. Now, the only reason, now it's left for you to decide if that's what you want to continue with. Definitely, if you are in Europe, I would suggest that you let the Europeans carry on with their tradition, because it is their tradition. But what we cannot allow them to do is to spoil, to destroy our own tradition in African continent. And that is why this broadcast is very important that you share, that you reach as many people as possible. It is really important to raise the level of awareness, because as I speak to you, our deity, our Eshu is being tarred with the wrong brush. And people in the churches will say, Eshu lo jẹ́ kí n ṣe, Eshu lo ní kí n ṣe, Eshu ni, Eshu. And we need to, and you see, by doing that, they are getting us to actually curse our own ancestral belief system and turn against it by using trickery. Whilst they are earning money, 109 million in 21-22, I believe, I think it is. March 2022, yes. So, yeah. So, and then the year before. So, all our artifacts, everything that they said to us is bad, they put it in a museum and they're earning money from. But they want us to believe in their own system, in their own folklore. And they're earning money both ways. Because we're spending money on their folklore whilst destroying our own culture, and they are profiting from our own culture in the museums. Come on. Is that fair? Is that fair? Is it fair? I'm just asking. Is it fair? Is it fair? We need to ask this. Is it fair? How do you see this? Does this resonate with you? I don't begrudge having the Christmas devil. That's part of who they are. But what I cannot and I will never to the end of my days accept is for somebody to tar the name of my own ancestral god, Eshu, and tie it and twist it to mean devil. That means that psychologically the entire community, you have messed up their brain. You see why I keep saying that when we are going to really free Africa, it has to start in the spiritual realm. Do you see that? I hope you're seeing that. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop all the time. How long must they kill our prophets? I watch me stand aside and look. Oh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. I want you help to sing. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Oh yeah, redemption song, redemption song. One more time. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'Cause none of it can stop other time. How long must they kill our prophets? Our wives we stand aside and look. Oh, some say it's just the part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. I want you help to sing. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Where redemption sung. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Where redemption sung. This song of freedom is all I ever had. Redemption song. Remember that. I'm saying this because we have been trapped in a web of deceit. And our pastors and our imams are engaged in continuing those deceits in our land. Remember, I hold no truck with that belief in Europe, in US. I'm not going to stop it. In fact, I insist. But what is being done to us in the name of trying to push forward a religion to destroy our own, I want you to know that it is destroying our psyche. It is destroying our psyche. And we need to take control of that. If we are going to build a viable Africa, it has to start in the spiritual realm. It's got to start in the spiritual realm. And I stand by that. I stand by that. So we need to call out Pastor Adeboye, Oyedepo, all of them. They are busy. And to sell your soul because of a fast buck, to sell your people, all 60 million people, to believe in something that is actually destroying your psyche is so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. People may disagree with me, and of course you're welcome to disagree with me. But see, sometimes there's a saying that we say in Yoruba, Otito Koro. People find that difficult when you're speaking truth to power, such as we are doing now. A lot of people, and I understand where you're coming from. This is something that you've held on to since you were born, since before you were born. Because I put it to you that many of us now that believe that we're Christians, we've been conditioned to believe so since before birth. Because why? They have put this in the waters and in the minds of our parents before we were even conceived. That's how deep this is. That's how deep this is. That is how deep this is. And we must, like I said, I'm going to come back and do this in Yoruba because I need for our people to really understand quite how severe damage this has been for our psyche collectively. And I'm hoping that this is beginning to show a clear pathway for us as a community, that we have been broken psychologically. We are still, the fact that we're standing and we're still moving around is amazing. But psychologically, for somebody to look you in the eye and tell you to now believe that what your ancestors served and believed in is devil, and then link it to what they consider as devil, when the very same time they are profiting from your God in their museums. That is cruelty beyond words. That is cruelty to an entire society beyond words. The the enormity of what we just discussed tonight, one cannot begin to do justice to it by having. I run out of words to explain how damaging. I went to school believing that Eshu is devil. Do you know how long ago I went to school? Over what? 30 years ago. I went to school believing that Eshu is devil. But right here now, the same person who went through, who was conditioned, force-fed every Sunday with this lie, has now uncovered this. I want you to think of how that damage to me, pushing on to 60. Shouldn't it be our responsibility to prevent this from happening to the coming generation in Africa? Please, I have no truck with what is being practiced in Europe. I have no truck. It's none of our business. We must, if you are in Europe and you are an African, you must make sure that then when they practice it and they come by, you be part of it, because that is on their continent. But on our continent, we mustn't partake in what is going to kill our culture and kill who we are in our soul. I hope you understand the difference of what I'm saying here. I hope what I'm saying here makes sense. The battle starts in the spiritual realm. It starts in the spiritual realm. What else can you term this? What else can you term this? This is a spiritual war. What you witnessed, what happened in 1842 was and remains a spiritual war. In case you don't understand, what happened using one of us, and they do that saying, we have it in Yoruba, they send one of us to do that dirty deed. Tamal Ajay Crowder. So we will not be able to see it. We will not question it. That's what they did. But like I said, it's now out in the open. Please share this broadcast too. Share this broadcast. As I talk to you, I say, if I were to go and demand for this back from the British Museum, do you think I will get it back? Do you think I will get it back? Do you think I will get it back? Thank you very much, University of Biafra. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bright, my brother. Thank you. Do you think they will hand this back? The same people who decided to rename a god, they recognize it as our god. I want you to understand that. And they decide to attack that same god, to attack an entire community. Till as we speak. So when we talk about this, I know Facebook are doing them. Please share this broadcast. I'm going to restream it directly on my YouTube chat platform. Please go and subscribe. Help us grow this platform. You can see that the kind of messages that we are sharing here is really going to the heart of where the damage is being done to us. Even as we speak, those churches are a damage to our psyche. Those mosques are a damage to our psyche. Every day that you go in there, I'm going to throw stones. Late Mubad said, I broke the leg of Eshu because he thought that he was talking about the devil. But Eshu is a deity that you do not break his leg. It's part of who we are. We are causing our own self. This is in our DNA. Oh, my people, wake up. Please, this knowledge is not to be kept to yourself. We need you to go and spread the word. Take it to every community. This is taking a lot of time and effort to expose. We need to put a stop to this if we are going to build a Yoruba nation or a Biafra or a Middle Belt. It starts in the spiritual realm. Get it? If you ignore this, we will come back in 1,000 years to this same spot. I guarantee you. This is where it starts. You must play your part. Start sharing this. Start reaching communities. Wherever you go, parties, friends, home, make churches. The churches. They even force you. People will say, Eshu, I'm going to throw stones at Eshu. Because in Islam, they're throwing stones at the devil. And they say that the devil and Eshu are the same. So people say, Eshu. You're cursing yourself. You're cursing your psyche. The people who did this trickery on you know. They need you to be psychologically weak so they can control you. Oh, my people. Don't you get it? They need you to be psychologically weak. Physically, they can't match you. They can't match you. But they have to get at you psychologically. What better way than for you to be cursing yourself without knowing? Oh. My people. Every day my people, they inside church so free and smile, then they sleep, then they wake like every day not the same thing. Suffer for what amen, enjoy for heaven, amen. Christians today, yeah, it's spirit to the news. Muslims to go that, Allahu Akuba. Open your eyes everywhere. Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imamu la baladun, Archbishop na. Oh, my people, when are you going to wake up? It's a fraud. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is a fraud. This is a fraud. If you are practicing any of those religions on African soil, not in Europe, if you are practicing it, I am exposing the lies that they've used to make us turn against ourselves. Pastors in the church will say, Eshu. I rebuke Eshu. Emoko Eshu. But you're refusing yourself because the Eshu has nothing. Up until 1842, you can see it in black and white, my people. Look, 1842, Eshu was never and can never be devil. We've been brainwashed to hate ourselves. This is the definition of self-hate. Do you understand me? I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. This is the very definition of self-hate. When they've told you to turn against what your ancestors since before time have been worshiping. And they know it's your God. Because guess what? That's the first thing they wrote in their book. In the first thing they wrote in their book, they said, a wooden figure in the form of Eshu, a god of the Yoruba people of Nigeria. To destroy the Yoruba people, they attacked our God. And you are coming and telling me Jesus Christ. Hey, I support Jesus Christ. I give myself to Jesus Christ. I give myself to Allah. But your own God, they've destroyed. And they are still profiting. What is sickening is they are profiting from that as we speak. In 2023. Look at those figures. 123 million in the year before. The year just gone. 109 million. Because our artifacts is in the museums. While they are telling you to believe in that Jesus lie that they tell you, they are profiting from your own gods behind in a museum. Look at it. Look. Wake up. Look at it. Once they're telling you that this is a devil. So if it was a devil, shouldn't the fact that they put it behind the wall would have meant that, I'm not even going to entertain that thinking, because it's a lie. It is a lie. It is a patent lie. And you have the evidence before you. Those of you going to church, think about this. The foundation for this lie lies in the church. You, as an African, as a Yoruba man, you are being affected on a daily basis by this lie. You need to decide yourself. Do you want to continue with this lie to continue to destroy yourself and your coming generation? Or do you want to separate yourself from that lie and begin to assume your true self as a Yoruba, as an African man? That's the question you must ask yourself. I cannot answer that for you. I cannot tell you to go and do anything that you do not want to do. But I'm putting clear evidence before you. 1842, Ajayi Crowther, in his entries for Satan and Eshu in English. Let me read it to you again. I want you to understand. You may not understand. The first known instance of this came. I wrote Samuel Ajayi Crowther said Eshu is the devil. The first known instance of that came from Samuel Ajayi Crowther's Vocabulary of the Yoruba, 1842, where his entries for Satan and devil had Eshu in English. Subsequent dictionaries over the years have followed suit, permeating popular culture and Yoruba societies as well. There you go. It permeated. This is cultural genocide carried out on us. This is effectively cultural genocide. And we're continuing to do it as we speak. The churches will come and say, issue this, issue that. And we are destroying part of who we are. Every single Yoruba home, every idile has an oriki that is connected back to Eshu, that's connected back to Ifa. We need to wake up. Is it any wonder that the kings are coming out and saying what they're saying if we are not ensuring that we stick to our own belief system? Even the kings will believe this lie. But here we are. We've exposed the lie right here. We've exposed that lie right here. So, I was saying it without knowing. It said here, subsequent dictionaries over the years have followed suit, permeating popular culture. And what's popular culture? Late Mohbad. I broke the leg of devil and Eshu. And our society, our entire Yoruba society has been destroyed with this lie. Before we start talking about Christianity or Islam, we need to repair this one. This is our foundation. Orísun wa re o. Orísun wa. Kato pa fẹ́ gbàgbọ́ nu Christianity àbí Islam. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ tún eléyìí ṣe. We need to go on a massive drive. Those of us that are doing this, myself, our sister, Eshu is not, Yahweh is not Olodumare, and many others who are supporting, and we are going to be going on a drive. I'm going to be calling a meeting. We need to go on a drive, and we need to expose this lie. Because this is going to affect the psyche of millions. It already has affected the psyche of millions of Yoruba people around the world. But you have the exact time, the exact date. You have it on the screen. This is indisputable. It is on Wikipedia. You can see it there. You can see the evidence right before your eyes. I'm going to just save this just in case, because you never know. You never know. I'm just going to take a screenshot of that just in case, because you never know what happens. But at least we have the evidence and we have the video. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I can put it any better than this. Those of you watching, I hope you can share this broadcast, because what we've discovered tonight is it is beyond. I'm going to take a copy of this, and we're going to be doing, I'll come and do screenshots of it. Those of you telling us, let us pray in Jesus' name and all of this stuff. In the name of Jesus, they changed, they went and corrupted our own issue to be the devil. And I've shown you in the earlier broadcast that they are not the same people at all. It's been a lie. One of the largest fraud committed against 60 million Nigerian Yoruba people. Who knows what I wonder, my Igbo brothers, has this happened to you? Have they turned your own Chikoki Ebema into something else? Has this happened to you? We need to find out. In other African countries, African communities, has this happened to you? That they've taken your deity and turned it, made you turn against it. We need to find out this. Because I'm almost certain this is not only going to be against the Yoruba people alone. We need to do more research. Now, again, yes, it's great. They're celebrating for the Christmas. We know it's a devil. It's not without, it's there. You can see it. I'm not going to, that's it is. That's what it is. That's what it says. Krampus, the German Christian Christmas devil. That's what it is. We're not disputing it. We accept that's what they are. But they cannot term our issue to be the same thing. See? There is no similarity. Issue is very different. See that? See? That's the horned one with the tongue there. Very different. You see? To our issue. We need to hold this dear, because it's affecting our psyche. This is affecting our psyche as a people. We are being made to run mad without being aware. We are being made to run mad without being aware. We are being made to run mad without being aware in our community. We need to wake up. Please share this broadcast. Reach as many people as possible with this broadcast. You need to really connect the dots, as they are telling us to turn and not to hate our issue. They are profiting from the carvings of the same issue, year in, year out. Year in, year out. Year in, year out. That's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. On this platform, we're only here to come. We are here to enlighten, to make you understand that our regrowth, our rebirth as Africans in our consciousness starts with us. Nobody else can do it for us. This is part of that rebirth. I'm going to leave you with those words ringing in your ears, or making you to think about what I just showed you. Before 1842, Eshu and Jesus Christ, and Eshu and devil and the devil, they were never the same. Before 1842. After 1842, I'm going to find you that vocabulary of thing. Let's go and find that vocabulary of Yoruba. Let's find it for you. Let's find it in there, because I need you to see that. I was going to go away, but now vocabulary of Yoruba. Yeah. This is a cultural attack. Cultural and spiritual attack. If you want to see a clear definition of a spiritual attack, this is it. You can see the clear demonstration of it here. Vocabulary of Yoruba. Yeah. Let's have a look at what he said. I want to bring it up. Yeah. By Bishop Ajayi Crowder. Yeah. I'm just trying to show you how bad this has gone. We are in the age of enlightenment. Let us make sure that this is something that can never. Okay, let's go and look at it now. And I want to pinpoint exact what he said. Okay, let me see if we can find it. Okay, multiple links. See, now, yeah, you see that? 1891 title. I'm trying to show you. We need to go looking for this. Search listings, books in English. See, these are multiple format archive org images. I'm going to try and find it for you. So we now know. I'm just going to. Oh, they want me to pay money for it. I'm not going to pay money for that. But anyway, you can see what we're trying to do here. I'm going to come back and do this in Yoruba. It has to be done now. It must be done. I'm not so sure when that is. You know what? I'm actually doing this today, and I'm not quite well. I'm in a lot of pain. I've got my chronic pain. I've got my cold is there, but I just felt when I studied this, I do research, as often as I can, because we need to be on the ball with this thing. We need to be on the ball and understand what damage has been done to us. Our entire community believes that Eshu is the devil. And they even argue about it. That's how powerful the imagery they've put in our minds about Eshu and the devil. They've linked the two. Well, now we are separating it. And the best way you can help us, share this broadcast. Share it to family and friends. Let it reach as many people as possible, because we have been lied to. We've been lied to. And they've hidden behind the lies. They've hidden behind the lies. And we need to expose this. We must expose it. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Season Network, the platform where we speak truth power. I don't know if I'm going to come back later on and do this in Yoruba. But basically, you now see the timeline when the devil was suddenly turned into Eshu under the writing of Bishop Ajayi Crowther, who was sponsored by the very people who colonized us in 1842. Before 1842, Eshu and the devil were two separate entities. So now when we say to you that Jesus Christ was created at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, people go, oh, you're talking nonsense. But you can see now how they psychologically linked Eshu to the devil, their devil, in 1842. If they did that, don't you think they would do that with the Nicene Council? Huh? Those of you believe in it. Every African, this is not for Europeans, I'm talking about Africans. And can we continue? Can you really continue to support a religion that has been used to destroy your own God? Can you continue to do that? Can you really continue to support that religion in your continent? Knowing the harm that it has done to untold number of Yoruba people in Yoruba land. Can you really continue? That's a question for all of us. Me, I'm not Christian. I am a Yoruba man. Ọmọ Yorùbá pọ́nbélé ni mí. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ràn Èṣù. Èṣù wọn bí Èṣù. Èṣù yẹn ó wà lára wa. Kì í ṣe nǹkan òun kọ́ ló ń ṣekú pa ni. Sátánì wọn ló ń ṣekú pa ni. Sátánì tán gbogbo ìwà tán ń ṣe yìí ìwà òkùnkùn ni. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wo ètò ẹ bá máa pín o. Àṣírí ńlá lẹ gbọ́ lálẹ́ yìí o. Máa wá sọ ní èdè Yorùbá lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. àmọ́ mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì náà òun ni mo ṣe ṣe tètò tèmi. A máa padà wá ní tó bá ṣe díẹ̀ ó ṣe é ṣe dáadáa alẹ́ yìí ni o àbọ̀là ni o àárọ̀ ọ̀la ni o àbí máa àwa sọ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ní èdè Yorùbá. Àmọ́ ká tó débẹ̀ yẹn, before we get there, what you can best do is for my diasporan brothers, you need to share this message and sit down and consider what is happening to your people at home. With this information that you are now receiving, what do you think you should do? Should you keep it under wraps and pretend it isn't there and let everything continue as it is and you keep it in the dark? Or should you take action and begin to awaken from within the continent? The job that we need to do is not in Europe. It's awakening our people at home to the lie they've been told. They've been told a huge lie. A huge lie. I kid you not. And it is before you on the screen. I do hope we will, make an informed decision collectively, because to be honest with you, it's painful to recognize that this is what they've done. For myself to even begin to say, you know what? Yeah, that's what they did. This is what happened, really. And understand that as a grown man pushing, advanced years, and seeing that this is what they've done to us. And yet we think, people have been fighting me. When I talk about this, they say, oh, what's the proof? Where's the proof? I've linked their Father Christmas conclusively to the devil. No doubt. That's what they know it as. But they hid that from you under the name of Father Christmas. The same devil is also known as Santa. It is. Let me see if I can get that for you as well. I want you need to understand fully, because before I wrap up. So they talk about it here. They talk about it further down here. It talks about it here. It says here. Let me see. I'm trying to see where it talks about it before you can get it fully here. Yeah. Santa Claus. You see, they mention Santa Claus. Santa Claus, you see? Santa Claus here. Christmas devil there. You see that? Santa Claus, Christmas devil in the same bracket. It's not me. It's in their books. It's online. Do your own research. Do your own research. What we cannot allow is for them to now. I've got you the date now. You have the date. The year, in fact, the year 1842 was when they decided, when they suddenly linked our Eshu, our Yoruba God, to their devil, to stop us following it, because obviously Eshu is so powerful they couldn't get past it. So the best thing they could do was to make sure we turned away from the Eshu. And the best way to turn is to make us believe that the Eshu is the devil. It's before you. Make of that what you will. That's the evidence before you. That is the evidence before you. Please share this broadcast. I'm going to rebroadcast it. One thing I would like you to do for me, please go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. There is so much work to do. You know what I would actually like to do on this alone? We literally have to go community by community and reawaken. Now you can now see that the pastors and the imams, every time they talk about issue, it's all lies. It's falsehood. We need to retrain our mind. You can see we need to retrain our mind away from this nonsense that they put in our mind. Those who are smiling at you, telling you, yes, believe in democracy. Yes, this. They are the ones at the root of the very issue that we're facing psychologically. I keep telling you, this is what spiritual attack looks like. This is what spiritual attack looks like. It is what you're seeing on the screen. They are close to you like this. They are close to you like this. You're watching your every move and making sure you bend to what they want whilst they are next to you. Using one of your own. This is a sustained spiritual attack. How many years ago? 1842, 1942. Yeah? So that's 100 years. Yeah? 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 02, 12. Yeah? So that's yeah. So 22. Yeah. We're talking about 100 plus years, 180 plus years. That this lie that they told us has been in place. Multi-generational. That's the damage they've done to us psychologically. That's the damage that has been done to us. That is the severe damage that has been done to us. But people don't realize this. I hope you are watching this and taking this on with, really sharing this broadcast. Make sure that our people wake up. Or if we do not deal with this foundational issue that they've placed in our midst to ensure maximum damage to our society, maximum damage. Because when you are causing the very foundation that you came from, you are damning yourself and your coming generation into all manner of illnesses, all manner of harm. They knew that. This shows you how powerful Eshu is. And we can reconnect back to it. When they are so fearful of Eshu, they decide to link it to their own devil to make us to turn against it for their benefit. On the African continent, we need to look at the churches and the mosques with fresh pair of eyes. It's just, you need to understand that this is business for them. What do I mean by business? Let's go again. It's business. Get them to turn away from their gods. We can stay there, make money from them, and we'll keep it away from them, and they forget him, and we control them. It's business. It's all about business for them. When are we going to wake up? What are we going to do about it collectively on the African continent? Because you can see the damage in playing with clearly now. I'm showing you just the enormity of what is being displayed here. I don't think people understand. Let me see if I can do this one more time. I'm going to try and I'm actually going to do something with this now because I want you to get the full picture, because I've been trying to sort of do it one way, but now I'm actually going to do it this way because I want you to get, there we go, I think. Let me just do this quickly because I really want you to understand the full picture, and I want you to share it with family and friends in this so-called festive season. Yes, it is festive to a certain extent, and but you need to understand what has been done, and that's that is what we have always sought to identify, and yeah. So it's on the screen right there, and I need you to read those words. Take it in. The first known instance of when Samuel Ajarekwada said Eshu is the devil came from Samuel Ajarekwada's Vocabulary of Yoruba, 1842, where his entries for Satan and devil had Eshu in English. You see? So he decided, with the support of those who were sponsoring him, the colonials, that they are going to, from that day hence, term our Eshu, the devil, to make the people turn away. 1842. Look at now in the churches. So let's carry on. Subsequent dictionaries. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Subsequent dictionaries over the years have followed suit, permeating popular culture and Yoruba societies as well. So they recognize the damage this has done. But we didn't, because we didn't know. Because we didn't connect what was going on to the severe damage that has been done to our society. This is a cultural destruction. This is a psychological, spiritual, and cultural destruction of a whole group of people. This is how deep this has gone. And again, I say it, this is what spiritual attack looks like. This is what spiritual attack looks like. On the screen before you is a spiritual attack by those who knew the power of us believing in our issue. To force us to turn away from it, they labeled it one of their devils. To make us turn away from it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please, I do hope that you are not just watching this and not sharing it. I want to take the opportunity to thank people who have been following me now. Let me just mention names as I'm watching. I'm going to mention each and every one of you because I appreciate you taking the time to follow and really, share this broadcast. It talks here, Oluwatoyin, Anumoriba Ayodeji, Matthew, and 7 others. Joseph Anu, Taiwo Banuso, Omolade Dada, Bright, I thank you very much. Ade Ajibade, thank you very much. Bade Adedapo, thank you very much. Titilayo Ononuga, thank you very much. Alice Busayo Ojo, thank you very much. Olufemi Olujimi, thank you very much. Anita Thomas, thank you very much. Tinuke Ayeni, thank you very much. Oluwatimileyin, Anu Oluwapo, Oluwa Plenty, Gold, thank you very much. Abdulatif Said, Olalekan, thank you very much. Ayo Ogunmoyole, I hope I'm saying it right. Thank you very much. Taiwo Adeyemi, thank you very much. Balogun Bola, thank you very much. Toyin Awoshedo, I hope I'm right. Thank you very much. Rufus Ojo, thank you. Folajimi Josiah Akin Bobo Aki Bobola, I hope I'm saying it right. Aderemi Adeshino, thank you very much. Simain Komo Folani, thank you. Augusta Toluwalashe, thank you very much. Temitokpe Florence Eboade Adenyoju, thank you very much. Chris Hubert, thank you very much. Omotayo Akobi Jesu. Based on what I've said this evening, I would really strongly you look at anything to do with names, because we are simply allowing the curses for them. For as long as we allow those terms to be existing on Yoruba land, we are allowing our suffering as a race on our own land, because our gods are no longer hearing us, because that's what they forced us to turn against our God. So I do apologize. Do not take offense. I'm trying to explain how powerful those things are. So now, Risikat, Kajo Bola, thank you very much. Messi Nimoriba, thank you very much. Breast and Yash only. Do we have breast and Yash only? Okay. Debo, thank you very much. Badmos Nurat, thank you very much. Francesca Adeosho, thank you very much. Abbas Jimo Efimu, thank you very much. I hope you have found this beneficial. Please do share this broadcast. I cannot emphasize how important what the information that we found out tonight. I can't overemphasize how important this information has been. We cannot be silent on this. I'm gonna have to come back and do this in Yoruba. I guarantee you, we have to do this because it is so damning. It is so damning, and our society has been damaged collectively. I've given you the evidence. over 60 million of us has been impacted by this lie. We've been made to believe that Eshu is devil. And I have proven beyond doubt, beyond any doubt, that Eshu is nothing of the sort. Eshu stands on its own as a Yoruba God. The devil that they talk about is the devil, the Christmas devil. In their words, not mine. And we need to get out there to awaken our community. This is not me. This is not about hate. It's about we need to heal. As people, we are literally walking around with spiritual wound and not knowing it. We are literally, as people, walking around with spiritual wound and we don't even know it. We have to go through a process of healing. This information cannot just end here. We need to begin to share it in our communities to wake our people up, because this is so destructive. So destructive. We don't even know how damaging this is. I can't even put it into words, the extent of the damage that this has done to us as people. For over 160, 70 maybe years. Yeah? 180, 82 years or 83 years of being told this lie, and we fell for it because we've not done research. This is not by accident what is happening here. What you're seeing on the screen is not by accident. The ancestors are speaking through people like me. We are in the age of awareness. I'm not the only one doing this, not by any means. I'm not the only one. Our ancestors are waking us up. Don't ignore this message. Don't ignore this message. They turned us against our own God for their benefit. And what do I mean by their benefit? Look at that. Every year, part of the profit comes from displaying our gods behind a glass screen for them to earn money while they are talking to us about believing in their Jesus Christ. Forcing us to turn against the God that they're profiting from. Please think about that. Think about that. We must think about that. Share this broadcast. It is painful. Please remember, this is what spiritual attack looks like. This is what spiritual attack looks like. What you're seeing on the screen. Read it. Comprehend it. Understand that 24/7 we are under spiritual attack. We need to understand that. We must. Iyabo Olubumi Oluwole, thank you very much. This is without a doubt one of the most devastating news that has ever been uncovered for black people, Yoruba people, to be precise. Because we did not countenance or understand the damage. And the pastors who are doing this, who think that they are enriching themselves, they are part of the structures they designed that has almost succeeded in destroying Yoruba people from within our own community by turning us against our own God that they recognize. They recognize they could not destroy Eshu. Because they could not destroy Eshu, they decided to turn us, the people, against our own God. So they labeled it devil. My people, this is deep. This is deep. My people, this is so deep. This cuts deep. But we need to expose this, because once you find out the source of what is wrong, that is the beginning of the solution. We found out, very much like my sister said, the truth is now out in the open for all to see. That. Thank you. Yes, and they are the devil. Thank you. Thank you. We must work on this collectively. Collectively. People, when I started, I've been doing this, I have been doing my research. What I've been doing here didn't just happen now. I'm telling you. I've been doing this research for over 10 years. I've been researching, I've been checking, but I knew that I had something that I needed to explain to Yoruba people. But I needed the evidence to stand before the world and expose this lie. But I couldn't reach there. I couldn't get there. Now I believe that we are close to, we've conclusively, in fact, not almost, we've conclusively exposed this lie. And we've now shown those who are coming to tell us how religious they are to be the ones who are the devils who have actually turned us against our own gods. We've not come into their community to turn them against Christmas devil. None of that. They've come into our society, turned us against our God, and made us to curse our own gods in the name of their God. The healing has begun. Ashe, Ashe, Ashewa. The healing has begun. Ashe, Ashe, Ashewa. The healing has begun. Bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, mo kí gbogbo yín. Máa padà wá, máa sọ eléyìí lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ lédè Yorùbá. Àmọ́ ń tẹ́ gbọ́ lálẹ́ yìí o. What you heard tonight, be it Yoruba, be it Igbo, be it Middle Belt, be it Ishon, you owe it to your family and friends. Because each and every one of you, you have a Yoruba family among you, a friend, somebody, an acquaintance. Make sure this gets to them. Because this is a psychological damage to entire Yoruba race. But we are healing because we now know the facts. We are now healing. We now know the facts. We are healing, and the healing has begun. Please, those of you watching this, don't leave this here alone. Every church, every pastor, send this to them. Every church, every pastor, every mosque. Because every time they, particularly if they're Yoruba, every time they call the name of Eshu, they're cursing not only themselves, they're cursing their own family. Because Eshu has nothing to do with the devil. And they are spreading this self-hate. This is self-hate that is being spread in our communities. In the name of this paper, this useless paper wealth, you're spreading hate that will destroy an entire Yoruba race that has been around for eons. Do you know what your cost that you're putting down for your coming generations? Do you know? Pastors, imams, if you're a Yoruba man, this message is for you. Look on the screen. 1842 was the day. In 1842 was the year. 1842 was the year when they suddenly said they said that their devil is the same as our Eshu, using Samuel Ajayi Crowder. And that has destroyed untold Yoruba people psychologically for over 150, 60, 70 years, 80 years. 183 years to be exact, because there's going to be there's 17 years. You went to 183, so it's going to be about 17 years left. 183 years of this lie. We've been living under this lie that the Eshu is the devil for over 183 years. You can see I'm obviously affected by what I'm showing you. I didn't know. I was trying to hold it. I'm trying to manage it. I didn't know how I was going to react on air because I was livid behind off camera. But as I'm talking to you, I just need you all. I can't finish this because I want you all. When you leave this broadcast, don't just leave it here. Please. Our communities are under constant attack. In all manner. But the spiritual attack is the worst. This is spiritual attack. This is spiritual attack. This is spiritual attack. And we need to rapidly rise and begin to address this. We cannot allow any pastor to get away with this lie. We cannot allow any imam to throw stones at our issue, saying that it's the same as the devil. Because as a Yoruba man, if you are throwing stones at Eshu, that is your God. They said it themselves. They know. These people know what they did. You are cursing your family. Every pastor, every imam engaged in cursing Eshu, you are cursing your family. Because Eshu has not done you anything. They've used this name to turn you against yourself. You are destroying yourself psychologically and your coming generations. You need to heal. It is time for you to heal. Okay. I'm gonna have to come back and do this in Yoruba at some point. Look, wherever you are in the world, whatever they're celebrating, celebrate with them there. But in your mind, when it comes to your people at home, what must be your focus is how to free us from this damage. How to free, because if we are, none of us, we are not free. We've been psychologically destroyed. Because I grew up believing Eshu is the devil. But of course, I now know different. 183 years. 183 years of lies that Eshu is the devil. 183 years. Okay. Ijiola Samuel, thank you very much. Michael Oyelade, thank you very much. Ganiu Ajia, thank you very much. Nasim Sarwa, thank you. Joy King, Kagashi Kigakana, thank you. Akim Ayodele, Prince Anthony, Faustat Alao, Risikat, Kajo Bola, I think we speak that, and of course Olua Alabisi Aike, thank you, and of course Yabo Labomi Uluwole, salient words. They are the devil. When you can you imagine the psychologically to get us to turn against our own by making us believe that their devil our issue is their devil. Because they know it's a God that we couldn't separate. They knew how powerful he was, and they turned us against our own God to keep us subservient. We need to understand, if we are serving their God now, we are subservient to them, because they've turned us against our own God. It's about power. When we turn back to ours, they lose the power. It's that simple. When we turn back and start worshiping our own God, we get back in control on our land. It is that simple. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me get my head together. We will be back later on. I'm gonna do. I would have taken the phone in now, but this is a lot heavy. This is a very heavy to take in, and I recognize people are probably gonna be stunned to silence when they're seeing this. I understand that. I'd like you to watch it. Please do your own research as well. Don't just take my word for it. Do your research to confirm or deny what I've said. And if you disagree with it, do a program, contest it, bring me on, we can talk. Because I'm not here to try and I said at the beginning, at the outset, it's about making sure that those who practice the Christmas and believe in the devil Christmas thing, fine. But what I was about was trying to make sure that they did not destroy our own African God, because in destroying that, they're destroying our psyche. They are killing us on earth. That is the very definition of psychological, a spiritual attack. That is a spiritual attack that we are under 24/7. We are under constant spiritual attack, and we have been for over 183 years. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching This Is Nowhere, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you so much for watching. Please, when you get a minute, when you come off air, please take care of yourself. Please don't get depressed about this. We needed to talk about this in the open. This is the beginning of our healing process. This is the beginning of our healing process as people. We have been collectively attacked spiritually for over 183 years. Continuously. So now that you're aware, you will feel one type of way, some type of way when you come off this podcast. What I want you to do is don't let it pull you down. Draw strength from the fact that we've now exposed this. But don't just sit there alone. Now we need you to use that power to reach into communities.